The Galactic Concord was at war for over 50 years. Two alien powers, the Concord and the Sovereign clans, had fought across the stars. Billions of lives were lost. Planets turned into dust. Yet one system stayed quiet during it all: Sol. The human system, Earth, Mars, the Moon, unchanged, untouched, watched by both sides. But never approached. Everyone believed Earth had no interest in war. And even if they did, what could they do? The humans were still new. No hyper-armadas, no gravity bombs, just slow ships and loud transmissions. The Concord Council saw Earth as neutral, quiet rock full of strange emotional beings. Not dangerous, they were wrong, and they found out the hard way. It began with a routine scan. Scout drone K-17 flew across the Sargon sector, mapping trade routes and planetary systems. It was automated, like most small drones. This one was. Specialists scanned live coordinates for diplomatic and military maps. It reached Sector 9 Gamma, where Earth should have been. Where Earth had always been. Except now. There was nothing. No blue planet, no moon, no Mars, no signals, no heat, no echo of technology. It was like the system had been, out of reality. The drone paused and scanned nothing. The AI inside flagged the anomaly and sent a silent alert to Concord Central. "It's a sensor glitch," someone said. Admiral Gestra of the Concord High Council frowned at the report. "It's not possible," she said. "Can't just lose a whole system. We've had eyes on Sol for over 100 years. Maybe a dark matter interference," said a science officer, "or a solar flare anomaly." But the transmission logs showed something stranger. For exactly 30 seconds, just before Earth vanished, the system emitted a burst of encrypted energy no Concord scientists could translate. Gestra leaned closer to the screen. "What did it say?" The tech officer looked nervous. "We don't know." But the pulse was targeted, not random. Gestra stood up. "Send a scout ship, full crew, silent approach, no weapons active." She paused, then added, "And keep this quiet. If Earth is gone, we need to know why, before the Sovereigns do." The scout ship Loricai never made it back. Captain Doran's last message was short, and came from just outside the Sol system. "We are seeing something strange. The stars around us are shifting. I don't know how, but our maps are what is that?" Then static, then silence. 17 crew members lost. One of Concord's best stealth scouts, gone without a trace. But then something floated back. A week later, near the Arcanus border, Concord Patrol found a pod. Damaged, blackened. Drifting inside was a pilot from the Loricai. Burned eyes. White with fear, skin shaking with radiation. He repeated the same words again and again like a broken song. They weren't supposed to move. They weren't supposed to have that kind of firepower. The Concord Council panicked. Emergency meetings, code red alerts, satellite relinks. But nothing showed Earth, not even a shadow. And then came the leak. A low-level analyst shared his security. File that spread like wildfire across shadow networks. Still frame from the Loricai's last camera feed. It showed a structure. A tower rising from Mars. Bigger than any Concord station, metal black as space, pulsing red. Feeding off the Martian core like a vampire, above it hung a shape, not a ship. A blade in orbit, long, silent, sleek, pointed directly at the Loricai. That was the last image before the scout ship vanished. "This is impossible," Gestra whispered. "Earth had no fleets. No builders, no raw materials from alien sectors, no trade pacts, no cloning vats. So how did they do this?" "They must have reverse-engineered tech from the crash," someone suggested. "Remember the Sovereign battleship that vanished near Jupiter during the War of the Veils?" Gestra nodded. That ship had been lost for 2 decades. Rumor said Earth might have picked it up, but no proof had ever been found.
"Now, maybe the proof was orbiting Mars. Give me Admiral Clint," Gestra ordered. A voice crackled on the screen.
"Yes, Counselor. Prepare the negotiation fleet. If Earth has turned hostile, we need to show force." Glenn hesitated. "Permission to speak freely?" Gestra nodded. If Earth really did all this, showing force might be the last thing we ever do. Back on Europa, one human base remained online, hidden deep under ice, the Europa listening. Post was Earth's secret eye in the galaxy. For years, they watched everything. Concord ship paths, sovereign code words, warfront changes. Now the operator sat in silence. A red light blinked, signal received. Laura Kai. Neutralized. Another blinked, Concord command, analyzing black box. Commander Reese Stone stared at the screen, then slowly turned to the others. Project Ember is green. Proceed with next phase. Technician Alira whispered, Are we sure? Once we do this, we're in. Stone nodded. They scanned our world, sent a ship, ignored our warnings. This is Strike One. He tapped the console. A low hum filled the room. Ice cracked. Gears turned, and under Europa, something woke up. A long shape, black and winged, unfolded from its frozen prison. Ship 01. Ember 1 status. Online objective. First strike destination. Cradle station hours later. Earth sent its first message. No video. No voice. Just a signal transmitted to all Concord and Sovereign channels. A flat, mechanical voice. Earth acknowledges galactic conflict. Earth declares neutrality ended. Stand by. First strike commencing. The message repeated twice. Then, Earth's signal vanished again, and across the stars. Every military eye turned toward a quiet little blue world now cloaked in silence, now hidden behind shadows, now ready to strike. The Concord patrol ship Vetra floated near the edge of the safe zone. Its engines were off, shields down. Everyone on board held their breath as the black recovery pod was brought into the hangar. The pod was old, burned, scratched with radiation. Scars. But what scared the crew most was the smell. Something inside had been cooked. Commander Tail stood behind the armored glass. He watched as the recovery team opened the pod. Inside was a man. A pilot. Human, or something close to human. His body was covered in burns. His skin cracked. But he was still alive. Barely. His lips moved, dry and broken. A whisper escaped. They weren't supposed to move. They weren't supposed to have that kind of firepower. The medics tried to help, but the pilot screamed every time a light came near him. He clawed at the walls, at his own skin, as if something had touched his mind, not just his body. In the med bay, the nurses whispered, it's like he saw God. No worse, someone else said. He saw something that pretended to be weak. Admiral Gestra arrived within the hour. She didn't wait for doctors. She went straight to the black box from the same pod the engineers already had. It hooked into a secure viewer. Play it, Gestra said. The screen came to life, static at first. Then the image cleared. The last flight of the scout ship, Laura. The footage showed the ship entering the Sol system. Systems normal, said the AI. No hostiles, no signals. Captain Doran sat calmly in his chair. Proceed with orbital. Sweep, begin scan of Earth. They got closer. Something felt off. The stars behind Earth seemed to shimmer. Then, shift. Captain, the system map is changing, said the pilot. The planets, they're moving. That's not possible. They zoomed in on Mars. There it was. The tower. It rose from the Martian surface like a spike of black ice. Red lights pulsed from within it. A cloud of strange drones circled it, moving. In patterns that looked almost like writing, Doran leaned closer. Is that a weapon? A voice whispered through the ship's audio system. Not human, not machine. Yes, and then everything went dark. The final image was terrifying. One frame. One moment frozen in time, a shape had appeared above Mars. Not a ship, yet a satellite. A blade, sleek, floating in silence. Its surface was smooth, no engines. No visible weapons yet. It aimed straight at the Loricai, and the instant after that image white flash. End of recording. Gestra leaned back. Her hands were cold. The science officer stepped forward. "You think the weapon used was some kind of quantum beam?" "No particles. Just information destruction." Gestra didn't look at him. "You're telling me they erased the ship?" "Yes, Admiral. Like deleting a file from reality." The room went quiet. A council was called. Secret, immediate. Only high-ranking officials were allowed in. Gestra stood before them, holding a single still image from the black box. The tower. The blade. "This is Earth now," she said. "They've built weapons beyond anything we understand. They cloaked an entire system. They intercepted and destroyed one of our stealth ships in less than a minute, and they said nothing." Of the counselor spoke, his voice shaking. "Why? Why now? Earth has been silent for centuries. Why break that silence?" Gestra answered without blinking. "Because we looked too close. Because we got greedy. Because they warned us. We ignored it. The sovereign clans heard the rumors too. On their war moons, their overlords watched the same footage. Earth. That vanished. Blade above Mars. But they didn't feel fear. They saw opportunity. Concord is weak. At Overlord Shack. The humans are theirs to control. We shall strike first before Earth joins the Concord." Sovereign fleet began to move. 1,000 warships aimed for Sol. They didn't know. They were walking into a trap. Back at Europa, listening Post Commander Reese Stone sat in the dark. The Ember network was active. Stealth satellites hidden around the galaxy fed data into the base. The Concord was panicking. The Sovereigns were mobilizing. Everything was going to plan. He tapped the side of a monitor. A hologram opened. An AI face appeared. Female.com. Cold. "Hello, Reese. Authorization accepted. Ready to execute Phase 2. Reese nodded. "Yes, Ember. Begin the next step. Let them know we're not hiding anymore." That night, a new message echoed across the stars from an unknown source. A simple text line, broadcast on every Concord and Sovereign frequency. "Humanity was silent for a reason. You have ignored that reason. Your scouts are gone. Your weapons are known. The next strike will not be a warning." The message repeated once. Then the signal vanished. No trace of the origin. No. Source found. Back on the Concord homeworld, Gestra stared at the message. She felt cold. For years, Earth had been silent, peaceful, a footnote in history. But now she wasn't sure. Maybe silence wasn't weakness. Maybe it was a choice. And maybe Earth had never been neutral at all. Mars, a red world, cold and dead on the surface. But far beneath the rocks, under layers of iron and silence, something breathed. Not alive, not flesh, but built. Growing Project Ember was awake. The last transmission from Earth's deep command. Center was brief. Phase 2 approved. Authorization. Omega Black. Initiate Ember. And in response, under Mars, ancient machines, 17 years earlier. The year Earth changed forever. It was during the tail end of the second lunar conflict. Humanity had recovered debris from a Sovereign clan ship crash that happened near Saturn's rings. They kept it quiet. Scientists worked in bunkers. No media. No governments involved. Just the Deep Earth Defense Directive, or DEDD, they found. Tech inside the wreck no one understood. Language that looped in 4 dimensions. Metal that reformed itself. A navigation core that could bend light around. Objects. Most of the world thought the wreckage was just another asteroid, but a few knew better. And from it, they built something the galaxy never expected. Project Ember was born in silence. Not a ship, not a weapon, a network. A link chain of underground facilities from Antarctica to Mars to Europa. Each one designed to build stealth ships using alien blueprints. Each one learning from the wrecked Sovereign vessel. It took 15 years. 15 years of lies. Fake weather reports, energy reroutes, and climate study covered dash-ups. But by the end, Earth had created 6 Ember-class warships, invisible to most scans. Coated in memory metal, armed with Sun Lance's weapons, capable of punching holes through planetary shields. Each ship carried no more than 10 people, but they didn't need more now. The first of those ships was moving. Ember 1 detached from its hangar under Mars. It rose through the crust like a ghost. Leaving no trail. Inside, Commander Alira Voss checked her systems. Human, yes, but different. Her blood carried nanofibers. Her eyes flashed with faint blue light. She was born in orbit, raised in silence, trained for only one thing: strike before they strike. A message came through her headset. Target, cradle station, full burn, no return. She nodded. Double quotes, yes, control. Ember 1 en route. Meanwhile, it's back on Earth's the Deep Earth Directive gathered in their hidden command center beneath the Atlantic Ocean. Thick steel surrounded the room. Just a live feed from Mars and Europa. Director Hayden Pierce stood at the center table. His face was calm, but his hands shook. We warned them, he said. They scanned our system. They broke the boundary. We gave them silence. They sent a ship. General leaned forward, and now we hit them back. Pierce nodded, double quotes. No more waiting, no more watching. Earth's silence ends now. Cradle Station. Concorde's super fortress orbiting Vescranine. Cradle Station was the largest weapons hub in Concorde space. It held enough weapons to glass 5 planets. It's protected by 9 defensive rings. It's guarded by 20 capital-class warships. No one had ever attacked it. No one had ever tried, until now. The attack lasted 47 seconds. Cradle Station picked up no warning, just a flicker in space then. Something appeared for a split second, a sleek ship, blacker than black, flying faster than Concorde's AI could track. A Sunlance. Fired not once, just once. Straight through the heart of the station, and then Ember 1 was gone. Cradle stations. Shields didn't even respond. The core exploded. Oxygen vented. Lights failed. In seconds, the largest fortress in Concorde control vanished into glowing metal rain. The Concorde Council was silent. Footage played again and again. A flash. Then, nothing. Gestra stood, her mouth dry. Do we even know what it was? No ID, no language signal, no known engine trail. The analyst said, the only thing we're sure of, it came from Sol. A sovereign observer on the council laughed bitterly. So the humans built a god. Gestra turned sharply. They built a response. We woke it. The sovereigns misread the moment. They saw Concorde weakness. It's not Earth's strength. They sent scouts, probes, then fleets. The humans didn't respond immediately, not with words. Instead, Earth reactivated Ember 2 and Ember 3. Each ship had a single mission: neutralize the nearest sovereign battle groups before they could reach Earth orbit. Europa listening, Post Commander. Reese Stone watched the feeds come in. Ember 2 destroyed a sovereign cruiser in 3 seconds using a solar flare weapon. Focused blast of heat drawn straight from Jupiter's radiation. Ember 3 planted a digital virus into a sovereign dreadnought. The ship turned on itself. The crew never even screamed. The stars were quiet again, and for the first time, Earth didn't hide. The message that followed was simple, broadcast on every known galactic channel. From the ice moons to the trade routes of Orion, just 3 words. First strike complete. No signature, no name, no voice, just a warning and a promise. Cradle Station was known as the Concorde's Iron Wall. It stood like a giant wheel above the mining world Vescranine, over 500 kilometers wide, loaded with rail cannons, drone swarms, planetary shields. In defense AI, it was thought to be untouchable. Cradle is safe, the Concorde officers always said. Even a solar storm wouldn't scratch it. But now, all that safety was about to vanish, and no one saw it coming. Time: 6 o'clock. Galactic Standard Location. Cradle Station Control Room Commander Relic sipped his morning tea. On the giant display screen, Vescranine's surface glowed peacefully. Below, miners working, transport ships moving cargo, all systems green, all satellites normal. Then, one of the operators frowned. Sir, I'm getting a ghost ping. High orbit. Just for a second. Relic didn't move. Probably static. It repeated again, sir. It's blinking every 13 seconds. But it's not on our standard grid. Relic stood now. Can you triangulate? The operator shook his head. I'm trying. Duh. But it keeps slipping out of view. 603 first glimpse on screen. A dark patch of space. Shimmered like a ripple across a pond. Then something moved. It wasn't a ship. It was a line. Thin. Black. Long. Moving faster than any Concorde ship had ever moved for just half a second. It became visible. Relic zoomed in and froze the image. A whisper escaped his lips. It's human. Ember 1 had arrived from deep orbit. Ember 1 launched into position using zero-point thrusters. No heat, no emissions, no engine trails. It was invisible to Concorde scanners. Inside, Commander Alira Voss held her breath. All systems locked, said the AI beside her. A soft light blinked on the weapon console. Sunlance. Fully charged, she gave the order. Target cradle station. Fire. 604 strike. Time the Concorde defense AI didn't. Detect the beam. Because the Sunlance wasn't a beam. It was a line of compressed photons wrapped in magnetic distortion. Invisible to cameras. It's undetectable to sensors. The shot traveled in 0.004 seconds. It hit Cradle Station's core reactor. Located exactly under the central communications tower. The reactor didn't explode at first. It simply failed, then overloaded, then tore itself apart from the inside. What everyone saw, no sounds. No warning, just light. White light, brighter than a sun. For 2 seconds, Cradle Station glowed. Then the shields failed. Then the hull cracked. Then came the silence. 605 Cradle Station destroyed. Cradle Station Concorde's pride. Its fortress's unbreakable wall had been destroyed in under 60 seconds. More than 800,000 Concorde personnel were gone. 20 defense ships floated. Dead in orbit, their systems fried by the pulse shock, only a few escape pods made it out. Drifting into open space, broadcasting the same words, they were shadows. The humans were shadows. And then the sky burned. Ember 1 vanished. It disappeared from space the same way it arrived. Without a trace, no pursuit was possible. No trail to follow. Even the explosion's radiation faded faster than expected because Ember weapons were designed not to leave evidence. Behind Earth wanted the galaxy to know who did it, but not how. Back at Concorde, Commander Stra's face was pale as she watched the footage on repeat. First the flash, then the empty orbit, then the static. Her hands trembled. "Tell me again," she said. "This was just one ship?" "Yes, Admiral. Ember 1. Human-built, weapon unknown, but the signal came from Sol. We're sure of it now." She turned to her war advisors. "Send a peace envoy. Immediately, contact the United Human Nations. Offer a truce." But just then, an alert sounded across the room. New broadcast incoming. A message blinked onto every Concorde screen. Cross fleets, bases, and colonies. Cradle Station was the first. "You ignored our silence. We will not ask twice. Do not approach Sol again, or we will strike harder." No signature. No face. But everyone knew who it was. Earth's sovereign clan's response. Arrogance while the Concorde panicked. The sovereign clans laughed. Overlord Shaq of the 7th Sovereign Spire grinned as he watched the Cradle Station video. "So the humans bit the Concorde," he growled. "Let them try that with us. We'll show them what real war means." Sovereign High Fleet began to mobilize. 12 dreadnoughts, 40 destroyers, 7 hive ships full of drones. Their target Sol system. They would enter Earth space and burn it to ash. It would be their greatest mistake. Europa. Listening post. Mission log. Commander Reese Stone watched from deep under the ice. The Sovereign Fleet was coming. He turned to his operations officer. "Let's activate Ember 2 and Ember 3. Put them into ambush formation near Neptune and Saturn. Prepare the solar flare net." "Yes, sir." "And tell the AI core," Stone added, "that the time for warnings is over. He looked out through the ice wall into the dark sky above. Let's show them what Earth has really been building. The sovereign clans had never feared anyone. They had conquered over 200 worlds, burned half the Orion Arm, turned species into slaves, dust, or fuel. When they heard about Earth's first strike, they didn't hesitate. They laughed. The Concorde. Lost a station, said Overlord Shaq. Not our problem. Now they were coming. The Sovereign Fleet enters Sol System 12 dreadnoughts. 40 destroyers. 7 hive ships packed with drones. The fleet was so large it made Saturn's rings tremble as they passed. Their admiral, Akar Zet, stood at the command deck of the lead dreadnought Firestorm Claw. His claws tapped the railing. As he growled, "Prepare for orbital siege. Burn Earth from orbit. Leave nothing." His officers nodded. "We've detected no resistance. The Sol system is dark." "Good," Vacker said. "Let them feel our fury." But something was wrong as the fleet neared Neptune. Ships began to report strange sensor glitches. Their maps were wrong. Ships thought they were in one position, but appeared somewhere else. "Must be background radiation," said one tech. But then, destroyer blade Howl vanished, just ... gone. No explosion. No signal. Only empty space where it had been. Then the hive ship Dark Brood began spinning out of control. Its internal AI systems melted from within every screen, showed the same error in glowing red ember. Protocol DITCTE near Neptune's orbit. The trap hidden in Neptune's shadow. 2 human ships waited. EMBER-2 Ember Tur. Their hulls reflected no light. Their engines were off. Their weapons were already charged. Commander Illyra Voss, now aboard Ember 2, watched through the black glass. "Target lock confirmed," her AI said. "Wait until they're fully in range," she whispered. The Sovereign Fleet had entered the graveyard. The attack began in silence. CMBI 2 fired first a burst of solar particle beam, accelerated using stolen Sovereign warp cores. 3 destroyers turned into dust. No alarms, no screams, just instant deletion. Ember 3 activated a neutrino bomb inside a gas pocket, something Sovereigns didn't even know humans had. The explosion was quiet, invisible, and total. Half a hive ship folded in on itself like paper. Vacker Zet's panic on the Firestorm Claw. Admiral Vakar shouted at his tech crew. "Where are they?" "WHO is doing this," his sensor officer screamed. "They're everywhere, nowhere. I can't track them." Suddenly, a new voice came over the dreadnought's intercom. It was calm. "Female, human, Sovereign Fleet. You are in restricted space. You are not authorized for orbit. Stand down and reverse course. This is your only warning." Vacker bared his teeth. "Fight back. Fire all weapons." They fired. Missiles, beams, radiation lances, but they hit nothing. Ember ships were already gone. Sovereign ships start falling within the next 5 minutes. 7 more ships were destroyed. Another dreadnought cracked in half by a gravity spike planted in Saturn's orbit. A swarm of drones turned against their masters. Their AI hacked mid-flight by Earth code. One Sovereign pilot, trying to escape in a pod, transmitted his final message. "They see us before we see them. They are shadows, wrapped in steel." Orbit above Earth. Final stand. 3 Sovereign ships made it past Mars. Only 3. Their weapons charged. Their shields flared. They entered Earth's orbit, ready to fire. But something was already waiting. Project Zeus, built inside Earth's magnetic field. Project Zeus was a weapon like no other, planet-sized rail system, drawing power from Earth's core in solar storms. It wasn't a missile. It wasn't a beam. It was a rod of compressed iron. Shot at 24,000 kilometers per second. It fired once. The lead dreadnought shattered in an instant. The other 2 ships tried to flee, but their engines locked. Hacked. Then their systems showed a countdown. 5, 4, 3. Their reactors exploded from inside solar system. Clean again in less than 20 minutes. The largest Sovereign attack fleet in history had been erased. No human cities were hit. No civilian lives lost. Earth didn't send an army. It sent a message. The message came soon after. It was short. Broadcast across both Sovereign and Concord networks. Sovereign violation of soul borders has been neutralized. Future aggression will not be tolerated. Earth recommends disengagement from galactic war or face complete system erasure. Sovereign. Council. Shock Overlord Shaq received the report in silence. When he saw the footage of the railgun strike, we dropped his ceremonial blade. We made a mistake, he said. We poked the sleeping void. Across the sovereign worlds, fear spread. Civil riots began. Worlds even refused to send new fleets, because now everyone knew Earth was not weak. Earth was not primitive. Earth had been waiting. Meanwhile, on Europa, Commander Rhys Stone reviewed the attack logs. He didn't smile, he didn't cheer, he just gave a quiet nod. Status. All Ember ships returned. Minimal damage, and Project Zeus fully recharged, ready again in 6 hours. Stone turned to the screen, showing the Sol system. He whispered, "Let the galaxy know. Earth doesn't fire first, but when we do, we don't miss." The galaxy was burning with fear. The Concord had lost Cradle Station. The Sovereign clans had lost their greatest fleet. And Earth, quiet, distant, and long ignored, was now the center of every conversation. Yet Earth said nothing. No new messages. No threats. No demands. Just silence. And that silence was worse than war. Galactic Peace Council. Emergency meeting held aboard the Pale Voice. A neutral station orbiting the gas giant Wrestle. The Emergency Peace Summit brought together the highest powers, the Concord's Admiral Gestra, Overlord Shaq of the Sovereign clans, envoys from neutral factions, and in one empty seat, Turth's invitation. Gestra looked around the table. "We can't win," she said plainly. "Not against this Earth," the Sovereign Overlord snarled. "There's still just one planet, are they?" she asked quietly. "They moved faster than light. Fired weapons we can't even detect. Took down your whole fleet in minutes." Shaq stayed silent. Gestra continued. "We send a message together. One voice. A united call for peace." They all agreed DOT Earth would get the message. The message sent translated into 132 galactic languages, encoded across ancient and modern protocols, beamed. "Through every open channel Earth ever used," the message said. "We recognize your strength. We seek peace. Please open dialogue. No more war." It was sent once every hour for an entire Earth day. No reply, not even a static echo. Meanwhile, deep under Earth's surface, Project Ember Command sat in silence. Commander Rhys Stone stood beside the main AI terminal. Behind him, holograms showed every known fleet position in the galaxy. Markers blinked red, yellow. Some vanished entirely. His assistant, Elira Voss, stepped in. "They sent a peace offer," I know, Stone said. No response. Stone looked at her, eyes cold. "No. Earth has nothing to say." Elira blinked. "But aren't we supposed to want peace?" He didn't answer at first. Then, they didn't offer peace when they scanned our skies. When they sent warships? When they thought we were too weak to matter? He turned away. They want peace now because they're afraid. That's not peace. That's survival. Back on the Pale Voice. Another day passed. Still no reply. The Concord. Envoys argued in hushed tones. One officer suggested building a new fleet. "Are you insane?" Gestra snapped. "Do you want to provoke another strike? What if they send 3 Ember ships next time?" Sovereign officer suggested something. "Else what if we ... surrendered? Let Earth lead." Everyone went quiet. Even Overlord Shaq didn't speak. Because deep down, none of them could deny the truth. Earth was now more than a player. Earth was the power. Then it got worse. Suddenly, fleets across the galaxy began failing. Concord cruisers would spin off course. Sovereign weapons refused to fire. Mining colonies found there. AI cores scrambled. Nobody knew why, until someone checked the code. Buried deep in the systems was a line of alien-human hybrid code, smooth, flawless, and impossible. To remove, it didn't destroy. It didn't kill. It just controlled. It had a name. Imberneth truth came out while the galaxy had fought its bloody wars. Earth had been watching silently for decades. They had sent probes, cloaked arbiters, listening devices smaller than dust. They had mapped everything, every fleet, every weakness, every password, and once the first strike began, Earth activated Ember-Net, not to crush, to control. They didn't want to rule the galaxy. They just wanted to make sure no one ever threatened Earth again. An uprising on sovereign planet Vorgan, the fringe world of Vorga. The sovereign warlord refused. To obey, he launched a new fleet, hidden backup force. 40 ships. He screamed into the stars. Earth can burn.
Ow.
We are not slaves. 10 minutes later, his entire planet went dark. Satellites melted. Orbital docks fell from the sky. All communication ended. When scouts arrived days later, they found no survivors. Only one message etched into the crust of the planet. You were warned. Europa listening post Stone stood before a screen filled with incoming messages, begging, apologizing, pleading for answers. Why won't Earth talk? What do you want? Please, let us understand. He said nothing. Alira stood beside him. So what now? We rule them. Stone shook his head. No, we leave them alone. We never wanted to lead the galaxy. Then what do? He looked up at the stars. We go silent again, and Earth did. The silence spreads no more. Broadcasts, no ships seen leaving the Sol system. No attacks. No strikes, just ... quiet. Yet across the galaxy, systems continued failing. Weapons refused to activate near. Earth's territory ships couldn't plot courses close to Sol. Everyone obeyed an invisible border. They called it the Ember Wall, a silent, unspoken rule. Do not cross into Earth space or vanish. 2 months after the fall of the Sovereign Fleet, the galaxy was frozen in fear. No new wars, no border raids. Even the criminal syndicates had gone quiet, all because of one name: Earth. And now, for the first time in history, a treaty was about to be signed in orbit above the planet that had vanished from every map. The treaty ship, Unity, Donna. Neutral Concord sovereign vessel flown under galactic peace codes approached Earth's edge slowly. It carried 10 ambassadors. 5 from the Concord, 5 from the Sovereigns. All chosen for one goal: peace, balance, survival. They had no weapons. Only documents, only words. As they neared the border of Sol, the crew held their breath. This was the first ship allowed near Earth since the first strike. No defenses triggered, no warning shots. Just a single beacon that lit up softly. Approach. ALLOWED 500K. LIA my torbiting Earth. A view of power when Unity Dawn entered high orbit. Everyone rushed to the windows. They saw Earth not damaged, not scarred, but glowing, peaceful, silent. And then they saw the rings. Massive black constructs in orbit hidden from normal view, now revealed. Not satellites, not defense stations, but launch rings. Weapon tubes. Energy collectors. Earth had built an orbital wall of firepower, and no one knew until now one sovereign delegate whispered, they could wipe us all in seconds. Inside the conference chamber, the treaty was simple. No military ships within. 3 light years of Earth space, no scans or data sweeps of Sol system. Earth will not expand or interfere in galactic politics. Any breach will trigger full retaliation. Concord and sovereign leaders signed it quickly. No speeches, no celebrations. They just wanted to survive. Earth's representative at the end. A figure appeared on the screen, not in person, just a face, human, male.com. But his eyes were strange, a deep silver, like mercury in motion. On behalf of Earth, he said, we accept your treaty. Is this the start of peace? Asked a Concord diplomat. The figure tilted his head. It depends on you. The screen went dark. The shatter begins 3 weeks after the treaty signing. A sovereign vessel, the Bloodwave, was caught slipping past the boundary of Earth's space. Its captain claimed it was a navigation error. He swore they didn't know. But when the ship's logs were recovered, the truth came out. They were scanning Earth's orbital structures. They were testing. Earth's silence. Ember, 4 responds. No radio call, just a flash above. Jupiter. The Bloodwave turned into burning dust. Its crew's final words were, "Never heard." The treaty had been shattered by arrogance, by pride, by greed. And now, Earth no longer trusted the table. Back at Europa, listening post Commander Reese, Stone stared at the treaty file on the screen. Invalid, the AI said. Terms broken. Illyra entered the room. Sovereigns claimed it was a mistake. Stone didn't respond. He simply turned to the command console. Activate full Ember lockdown, he said. Are we at war again? Illyra asked softly. Stone shook his head. A war. Correction. Galaxy response. Panic again. The Concord blamed the Sovereigns. The Sovereigns accused a rogue officer, but none of it mattered, because every system near Earth space started to shut down again. EmberNet was reactivated. Hyperlanes redirected. Communications scrambled. Weapon systems disabled. Earth wasn't attacking. It was isolating itself again, building a wall no one could cross. The real fear it wasn't just that Earth was powerful. It was that Earth had no demands. They didn't want land, or tribute, or alliance. They just wanted the galaxy to stay away, and that silence. The refusal to play the political game was what truly terrified everyone, because now no one knew what Earth would do next, or when, or why. A final message, one final broadcast. Reached Concord Command. A week later, no face. It's just the same voice from the treaty. You came too close again. You broke your promise. This is your last mistake. We will not speak again. For weeks, the galaxy held its breath. After the last warning from Earth, fleets pulled back. Trade routes were redrawn. Entire systems changed laws just to avoid angering Sol. The message was clear. Do not test Earth again. But someone did. And this time, Earth didn't destroy a ship, or a fleet, or a planet. This time, Earth erased a star. The violation in the sector of Veldamaris. The Sovereign Remnants, a breakaway faction, activated a hidden research array near Earth's border. Their mission? To uncover how Earth's weapons work, find their secrets. Our own. They cloaked their array, masked its signals, even rotated its orbit to mimic solar drift. They thought they were clever, but EmberNet saw it all. In real time, within 1 hour of activation, the signal reached Earth's listening post. On Europa. Reese Stone read the data with a blank face. Location confirmed. Veldamaris system, Sovereign signature. Illyra looked over his shoulder. That's 3 warnings broken. Stone nodded. No more warnings. Earth's final protocol, Zeus Prime. Earth had been silent for 2 months. No broadcasts. No retaliation. That was because something was being prepared, something even Ember Command feared. Zeus Prime was not a railgun, not a beam, it's not a bomb. It was a stellar reversion device, a weapon made to erase a star. It exploded. But unmake it, inside Earth's core. It had grown for decades, built from sovereign wreckage and alien dark matter generators, stabilized by black hole fragments recovered from the Oort cloud, and now it's ready. Europa Command Room. Activation confirmed target, Stone said. Veldamaris Prime, the AI replied. Class G-Star. 6 inhabited planets. Sovereign. Remnant military base active? Civilians? Lyra asked. The AI paused. Unknown. Estimated. 94,000 non-combatants. Stone sighed. Transmit last warning. A small message pulsed across space, directed only at the Sovereign Remnant base. You breached the silence. You deployed sensors within forbidden space. We do not forget. We do not forgive. You have 300 seconds to evacuate. The galaxy reacts. The Concord picked up the signal. Jestra watched from her ship with wide eyes. "They're going to do it," she whispered. "They're going to kill a son."
Oh!
Overlord Shax screamed at his generals. "Evacuate Veldemaris. Get those people out." But there wasn't time. Earth had already launched the payload. What Zeus Prime looked like? It wasn't a missile. It wasn't a glowing beam. It was a black sphere, the size of a shuttle, traveling faster than light inside a compressed time bubble. When it reached Veldemaris, it stopped above the star, and then it unfolded. Space warped. Light bent. Time stuttered. Then, silence. What everyone saw across every telescope, every sensor, every outpost, the star didn't explode. It simply faded, like someone had turned off a light switch in the middle of the sky. One moment, Veldemaris shined bright yellow. The next, it was gone. No heat, no gravity, no star. Just cold vacuum and 6 dead worlds. Aftermath, shock, and collapse the Sovereign. Remnants tried to send a protest, but their signal bounced off Embernet, vanished. They no longer existed on Earth's maps. The Concord convened an emergency meeting. Jestra stood alone at the center. "We pushed too far," she said. "We made Earth show us their endgame. Some wanted revenge. Others begged for negotiation, but no one had answers, because Earth wasn't responding anymore." Earth's final broadcast one. Day later, Earth sent its last message. One line: "There will be no more treaties. We are not your allies, or not your enemies. We are your shadow. Stay out of it." And silence. True silence. No ships. No threats. The entire Sol system went dark hidden again, by quantum cloaking, as if Earth never existed. 1 year later, in the Outer Rim, a new pilot scanned the stars. He was young, brave, ignorant of history. "Captain, we're near a strange patch," he said. "No readings, no light, just a hole." The captain paled. "Turn around now. That's the edge of the Ember Wall." "But there's nothing there." "Exactly, that's what scares me." They left quickly. No one dared cross the line again. Legacy of the final strike, the galaxy changed. War declined. Borders shifted. Peace was forced by fear. No one spoke. Of Earth anymore? Not officially. But behind every council meeting, every defense plan, one question lingered. What if they're watching us right now? Back on Europa Reese Stone, sat alone, Illyra approached. "It's done. No more targets. No more signals." "Good," he said quietly. She hesitated. "You think they'll ever forgive us?" Stone looked up at Earth's glowing blue curve. "Matter," he said. "We didn't do this for forgiveness. We did it so no one would ever threaten home again.